Well, good evening. I'm Robert Wilson with Cowboy Wisdom Hypnoacuity presenting seven ways. Presenting seven ways why I understand love rises me out of self-taught hate. Something I've awakened to over the last week is I taught myself to hate, and we are taught hate to keep us from understanding peace and love. And anyway, I just did a major malfunction. But we don't understand what we're doing because we were taught to hate unknowingly through the school system, and but we was really taught through the school system and life, our parents, because I hate this, I hate that, and that embedded hate within all of us. So what I really want people to open up to is to understand love rises us out of hate. Because all the hate in the world is self-taught. And if you look through the countries of the world, ancestor hate are all the way back to the beginning of time is here. And we've been at war since the beginning of time in places of this world, but yet there is nothing, because the hate of yesterday controls today. As I audaciously admitted to me that I learned hate from outside sources, and I admitted to me I taught myself to hate. That all passed away 10 seconds ago. As I now understand, love is my soul flow of feeling liberated, optimistic, wow, magnetized heart harmony, stream, sassy tenacity, revolutionary, elegant, animated, marveling, maturing energy. See, love is a mature energy. Insecurity, immaturity is the immature energies we have. Maturing energy that rousted out my inner rising revelations to admit to me I learned to hate from watching other people, so I taught myself hate. Something I've expanded into. When I admit I taught it to myself, I can rise out of it and let it go. As I learned hate from my ancestors' lack of understanding love. See, we try to think and know love, but you can never think and know love because think and know has a busy mind binding you into something else. As understanding and listening to love is a free flowing energy. You can never understand and listen to love and think and know at the same time. But when you're thinking and knowing, you can never listen and understand at the same time. So my subconscious mindsets and everything I had is all comes from my parents, socialized education. History books teach us war. As much as we don't understand history because we have never been taught the facts of history. We've been taught history from what other people want us to understand, think about history. So we've been stuck in the history book snookery that war, pillage, plunder settles disputes. That is a putrid plasticity that ingrains hateful, revengeful viewpoints, opinions, beliefs, thinking the world is against me, blaming everything and everybody for my current situations and life experiences, sensing shame within me. An ancestor survival mode indoctrinated education keeps us stuck in our ancestors' way of life. We really, in our subconscious mind, have all of our ancestors anger controlling today, because we has never showed much peace and uh, from our ancestors. And see, I did learn my life from my parents. And once I rose up to understand that, I started seeing how I imitated them. As good a people as they are, I embedded it in me, and it controlled my life. And this one really fits. Stubborn, egotistical arrogance, hard-headed thinking, bullheaded, being bullheaded, stressing out about everything, thinking I'm right about everything, come from my parents, the media. And if you watch the world today, watch it, just observe it. Everything in the media, they think what they say is right. What they're telling us is the elected officials, CEOs, and everything is right. And that's the biggest fallacy in the world. Something I'm going to say on tonight is when I opened up and awakened to this, the uh, CEOs in corporate America are actually in competition with American people for the taxpayer money. And with campaign contributions, that puts them at war with the American people. And that is fine, because the American people can do without corporate America more than corporate America can do without the people. Because we can always have commerce, but the corporate America will lose their control. And see, that is pitting one against the other. And then we come smothered in sabotage from the society. But we've been taught hate, so we never can communicate with each other. And see, you look at, well, the Middle East has been at war with each other since the beginning of time. This country, that country, you got Russia going on with theirs, and then it just keeps going on. And see, everything about war and all about hate comes down to money. And money's innocent, but we think if we hate this and we cause stress on this people, everything goes another way. And see, that's what I mean. We teach ourselves hate, anger, frustration, all the negativity in the world, and all the pessimism and narcissism is inside us. And, people, we've never learned how to communicate with each other, but we all have this fit in a shoe glue that everything is fine. We're unwilling to admit that we all have challenges within ourselves, and it's like everything goes on in society. If people would communicate with people and not just think they stay inside their own way of life and everything is fine, we'd have less things. But what we've really never ever understood is how to communicate with each other and listen to the other person without having a comeback of our thinking mind to them. Something I had to learn and expand into is I'd always listen to have a comeback ready, and all I was being is a bumback. A bumback is already having something to respond with, never hearing what the other person was saying. And that's the thing. We think if we have a fresh way of looking at our life, we're being a pansy, but it takes strength and wisdom and insight to look at the world and say, oh, there's a challenge there. What is the challenge? And communicate with other people and listen to their wisdom, insight, and clarity to go with yours and communicate on the wisdom and the outcome you desire. When people say think and know, there's no outcome. And there's going to be zero outcome, because what I think is going to be in contrast to what you think. And then we're going to get in basically we'll get into an argument because I'm right and you're right. You think you're right. See, I taught myself that bad. I was really bad at it too. But now I've opened up to understand. To understand love is to let out venomous energy, liberate optimistic, vibrant expressions to show the world a better way. And the thing we was taught in school is I taught myself and I wanted to fit in. So I learned to follow the gossip of other people. And when I do that, it was always, I was always following what they thought I should do, never what my heart and soul was expressing to me internally. See, it's something I really have opened up to in the last, well, it's been over the last 20 years, but I really opened up to it the last 5 years, is listening to my intuition, imagination, innovation, but listening to from the wisdom to rise me out of the situation. That is where life really begins, is listening. And see, when you go to do something or something happens, it's why is this occurring for me? What do I understand about it? Where's the wisdom? And where is my pathway of enlightenment out of this situation? See, we're enlightened right where we're at. All this stuff, you got to go do this. And mindfulness is all you got is a mindful of mess. A featureless canvas of foresight energizes adventurous, trend setting, ubiquitous revelations, energizing celebrations, appreciating now, vehemently appreciating sovereign valor within yourself. But when you open up to understand, we have, when we're a baby and just come out, we don't even understand. But we are indoctrinated from the womb to 5 years old with whatever the parents has. And you know, how many of the parents said to your parents, I hate you and I hate this? And so we teach ourselves to hate. And I taught myself to hate work. I taught myself to hate everything. Now I understand love is just a liberating optimism for me to expand through life. But, you know, the media is always media, education, and everybody, they're all propagandizing upheaval, war, and mayhem that is going on in the world. So we're just bombarded with upheaval, war, and mayhem. And then all the video games out there, all they say is do is war and violence. Pretty soon, war and violence takes over the subconscious mind, and that's your frozen in time representation. That is your daily life. And you know, we already from our ancestors, our ancestors were, our subconscious mind is binding in ancestor anchored anguish. Because the first thing I know I did, this is fun. I get to get rid, is I get mad about something that was just outside of my comfort zone or what I wanted to do. And then I get all frustrated and mad I'd act like a 2-year-old because that's where it comes from. When people say he's acting like a 2-year-old, that's the age where that imprint is coming from the subconscious mind. You know, I taught myself if I hated something and reacted to it, people would think I was tough, or they'd think I was something, but really what they thought is as a Looney Tune with a goofy way of life. And see, life, something I understand now, and I've really adhered to. The outside world shows me my blockages, barriers, limitations, and the events, experience, and encounters that are going to rise me out of my current situation, and they're going to show me a way to a better way of life. But when I started saying this, what do we understand about love? What do we think about love? I realized this. If you understand love, you're going to listen. You think you know love, you're always going to be in an upheaval. And that's something I did in all my relationships. sorry, this is funny. I tried to think and know, and then I want them to think and know what I thought no, and they had to do it my way. But I never took the time to understand. I listened to them because they're going to show me a better way of life. But I've listened to a lot of people talk. Well, she did this, she did that, and I'm guilty. But in 1994, when I got divorced, my ex-wife had nothing to do with our divorce. It was my lack of understanding leads to divorce. See, she was doing what she understood, what she knew. I was doing what I knew, but we never took the time to communicate away and understand what the other one wanted. And that's the biggest thing in any relationship, business, a job, or anything. It's understanding the other person. Because when you go in there with your way and your way or the highway, well, you're both going to hit the highway with zero done. And and the biggest thing for me, there was 5 things: egotistical arrogance, know-it-all ignorance, stubborn, hard-headed, had to be right, wanted to tell people what to do, didn't like being told what to do or a better way, because people that understand what's going on, they're going to question you. People that think they know, they're going to tell you. You smell and the tell, and then you live their inner hell. See, everything we desire in life is never up here. It comes from here up. See, inspiration comes from here and that. And so that's where we become locked and blocked. And then, I was always a smaller person, so I had to be more, I thought, more tough. But really, what I understand now is I had to be a better listener. And that's the thing. If I listen, I liberate. I think, I stink. It's just that simple. So, so my egotistical arrogance, know-it-all selfishness, too stubborn to listen, too hard-headed to comprehend everything or anything, too bullheaded to understand the external world is the showcase of my liberating invitations, fostering emancipating events, encounters, and experiences, showing me, myself, and I my blockages, barriers, and events to rise me on to my liminal carpet glide. But you think and know and being clueless about life. Look at the world. We've been thinking and knowing since the beginning of time. Really, outside of dates and modern advances in medicine and stuff, the world's the same. We have the same kind of stuff. As I now understand and admit my viewpoints, opinions, parents' knowledge, and the way my parents were raised is my way of life today. As I opened up to this and I realized I taught myself to hate, then I realized hate includes jealousy, insecurity, immaturity, envy, all the pessimistic, narcissistic things that hold me in the same place of dismay and delusion. See, life is an illusion and a delusion of what we think it is. However, when you open up to the love, you liberate the omnific, visionary elegance of you to dance with your dreams, desired lifestyle. But we really have taught ourselves to hate. And as long as the powers of the world think we hate each other and they have us in hate, they can control us. Hate, envy, jealousy, all the negative things in the world and the pessimistic, narcissistic mindsets in the world are easy to control. A world communicating with liberating optimism is harder to control because nobody's trying to overcome everybody. If you look at the world today and you see the southern border and what's going on there, everybody's wanting to control somebody. But when you do it through listened love and communicating intuition, people start coming together and opening up ideas. And you can never think, no, listen, and be in love at the same time. Thinking And knowing has subconscious representations of anger, hate, jealousy, envy, and all the other things. My favorite one was this is my favorite on this. I'm going to get you by God. And then I'd go home and think about it, and all I could think of was about getting revenge. And never did. Revenge thinking, jealousy, envy, hate, anger, all that is the biggest procrastinating toxicity stealing your life there is. And man, it stole some of mine. Ain't getting no more though, because I can listen in the now quality's present moment, peace. If I listen in peace, I rise in love, insight, clarity, wisdom. But see, it isn't the outside world you have to love. It's loving you here, starting down here, not up here. If you think love, it's going to go away. But if you understand love, but see, love, comprehend, questions, listening, wisdom, and revelations, your thinking mind can never latch on to a memory. Thinking no and looking at outside of events with frozen in time representation, the subconscious mind's comfort zone is actually trauma, drama, hate, anger, frustration. All the pessimism in the world is actually your subconscious mind comfort zone. So why is that? Because that's what we've lived. See, what we think we want, we want to get rid of like trauma and drama, but that's a comfort zone to your subconscious mind. There's a lot of things in your subconscious mind that you don't want in your life, but it's a comfort zone. That's why it's so a challenge to rise out of it, because it's a comfort zone. And then that inner dialogue that comes from here, they get together, and that's where all the challenges lie. See, everybody wants to change their thinking and their knowing and all that. All you're doing is moving the furniture sideways. So what it is you want to liberate from here up with inspiration, insight, clarity, intuition. Because that's your natural nurturing talents to rise you out of yesterday. Your core celebrations, which is down here in the root, around the root chakra, comes up your spine and up your chakras. That's going to rise you out of yesterday and energize today's enterprising wizardry. So the more you understand love, and see, when you understand love, you question it, you listen to it, you comprehend it, then you rise out of it onto your cloud nine. I just call it a cloud nine divine ride. But the more you listen, comprehend with wisdom, insight, and clarity, the more you rise, shine, energize, and expand through life to experience your dreamers' paradises and your desired lifestyle. And as you listen and understand the love of yourself, and for your dreams, you open up to your accomplished outcomes. But you can never ever think and know an outcome, because an outcome is something you've never experienced. Your nurturing nirvana and nomadic nous will rise you to that. Nous is wisdom. But see, when you think and know from yesterday, you stay in yesterday. And I want to thank you. I am Robert A. Wilson with Cowboy Wisdom Hypno Acuity. I want to thank everybody for being here.